My wife's lover dared sit at our table, so I knocked him out in front of everyone. What happens when the warmth of a Christmas feast turns ice cold with betrayal? Picture Michael stepping into a room buzzing with holiday cheer, only to feel his world crack apart. His wife, Rachel, radiates charm, but her eyes flicker toward Ryan, a man whose smug grin hides a secret that could shatter everything. Why is Rachel so at ease with him? What's the weight in Michael's pocket burning like a fuse ready to ignite? The festive clinks of glasses fade as tension coils tight. Nobody suspects the storm about to break. Is Michael unraveling, or is he holding a truth too explosive to contain? Every laugh, every glance between Rachel and Ryan feels like a taunt, daring him to act. Will he expose a lie that's been festering for months, or lose himself in the chaos? This isn't just a dinner, it's a reckoning, where trust bleeds out and vengeance takes hold. Buckle up for a tale of deception and raw confrontation that'll hook you from the first spark. The fuse is lit, and the explosion is coming. Fast. Can Michael reclaim his life, or will Rachel's secrets bury him? You're not a real man, abandoning. Mum on the streets over her minor cheating slip from 20 years ago. Pathetic. That was the moment my daughter Emily hissed those words at me. Her lips twisted in scorn, like I was the bad guy. She stood there, tall, icy, smug, defending her mother, the same woman who'd just learned the daughter we raised together wasn't mine. Not biologically, not legally, not emotionally anymore. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't flinch. I reached into the envelope in my hand and pulled out 2 documents. The DNA test and the address of her real father. Take these, I said, calmly, and pack your things. You've got 30 minutes. Let me backtrack. It all started with a phone call. One of those late-night ones you answer groggy, expecting a scam or an emergency. It was both. A guy named Derek called, drunk and resentful, asking if I ever wondered why Emily didn't resemble me. He called me buddy, like we were comrades in a losing game. I hung up, but the doubt was planted. I couldn't sleep. I sat on the couch, watching my wife Laura breathe softly in bed, untouchable. Laura, my wife of 22 years, my everything. Or so I believed. The next weeks were a haze. I took Emily's hairbrush, sent it to a lab I found online. $290 for the truth. I didn't tell Laura. I couldn't. Not yet. I needed to know if Derek was just a bitter drunk, or if my life was a perfectly crafted lie. The results arrived 2 days before our anniversary. 0% match. I stared at the paper like it had punched me. My hands shook. I laughed. Not from humor, far from it, but because I didn't know what else to do. I'd raised this girl, paid for her braces, cheered at her soccer games, held her when her first crush dumped her. Now she wasn't mine, biologically at least, and Laura had lied every day of our marriage. I didn't confront her immediately. I wanted more. Curiosity became obsession. I dug through old emails, phone bills, anything to piece together the timeline. That's when I found her diary. She wrote in it early in our marriage. She thought I'd never look. June 12th. I shouldn't have gone to that bar, but it felt alive. 5 guys. God, I was wild. But he'll never know. He was on that dumb business trip. Still, I can't stop thinking about Derek. My heart stopped. 5 men. Not a one-time thing. A carnival of betrayal. While I worked overtime to buy our first condo, she was out rolling dice with strangers. Next morning, I set the table. Pancakes, juice, coffee, the DNA test in the center, the diary beside it. Laura came down in her usual cotton robe, acting like nothing had shifted, smiled like she deserved applause. "What's this?" she asked. "Breakfast," I said. "And a reckoning." She blinked, confused. I slid the papers over. Silence. She stared, eyes narrowing. "You read my diary? That's your worry?" She scoffed. "Oh, please, James. That was ages ago. We weren't even married yet. What? You're going to ruin our family over something before your precious ring went on my finger? You lied every day. It was just a dumb night. Get over it. No, it was 5. 5 men and a daughter who's not mine. That's when Emily walked in. She glanced at the papers, at her mom, then at me. You're pathetic, she said. Laura didn't deny it. She folded her arms, smirked, like she'd won. So I stood, calm, steady. You've got 30 minutes to pack, I said, handing Derek's, addressed to Emily. Go meet your real dad. I'm done playing fool. But this wasn't over, not even close. Emily slammed the door as she stormed upstairs, muttering curses. I didn't follow. I didn't twitch. I stood in the kitchen, watching Laura sip her coffee like it was just another Tuesday. You're really letting this ruin everything? She asked, leaning on the counter, calm as stone. You call 5 men a technicality? Laura shrugged. We weren't married. Then why lie for 2 decades? Why make me think Emily was mine? Why build a family on deception? She rolled her eyes. Because you wouldn't have stayed if I'd told you. I needed you then. Simple. That hit like a brick. No remorse, no shame, just raw calculation. You needed me, like a bank account. She didn't answer. She didn't need to. I sat slowly at the table, ears ringing. Not from anger, that came later, but from disbelief. The woman I'd trusted with my soul, carried through layoffs, medical bills, 2 miscarriages, stood before me, morally empty. She set her cup down, looked me in the eye. What's your plan, James? Cry to a judge, take the house. Good luck, half's mine. She didn't know I'd already called a lawyer, had our finances audited, my name cleared from her secret, credit cards, copies pulled of every shared account and stock. She thought I was still the naive guy who kissed her cheek nightly and made her waffles on weekends. But I'd changed. In 48 hours, I'd torched the old me. I'm not crying, I said quietly. I'm lighting a fire. She laughed. You're pathetic. You'll blow it all up over 1 mistake. 5 mistakes, 1 lie, a lifetime of acting. Laura's smirk faded slightly. You think Emily will stay with you after this? She's my daughter. She'll choose me. She's not your pawn anymore, I said coldly. She's grown. She'll decide. I just gave her truth, something you never did. Her eyes narrowed. So, what? You're the noble martyr now. No, I'm the man done being used. I stood, heart hammering like a freight train. I wanted to yell, to smash every plate in the kitchen. But I didn't. That'd be too easy. I wanted her to feel the slow crush, to watch her house of lies collapse in silence. You've got 1 hour to call whoever's taking you in. After that, I'm changing the locks. She laughed, but her voice cracked. The smugness was slipping. You can't kick me out, James. I've got rights. Sure, but I've got proof. And a lawyer ready to burn it all down. She grabbed her phone, turned away, muttering. As she left the room, something clicked in me. Not rage, not grief, clarity. I'd spent 2 decades thinking I was building a life with a woman who loved me. I was just a prop in her long game. But now, the story was mine to write. And Laura had no clue how bad it was about to get. An hour passed. I heard only the faint hum of Laura's voice behind the bedroom door, angry, sharp, then fake sweet as she called whoever she thought would save her. Probably some old fling. Maybe even Derek. The irony churned my gut. At exactly 60 minutes, I walked upstairs. She was shoving clothes into a duffel, not folded, just stuffed. Panic and fury do that. Her hands trembled, but her face snapped too, smug when she saw me. You're making a huge mistake, she said, not looking up. This tantrum will backfire. Emily will hate you. She already does, I said, leaning on the doorframe. But when she learns the full truth, she'll hate you more. Laura zipped the bag with a vicious yank. Truth? What truth? You told her I slept around, gave her a test result. Big deal. I pulled a USB drive from my pocket, twirled it. She froze. What's that? Recordings of our last 3 fights. Your diary pages. I scanned them. Everything's backed up. Copies to my lawyer, a spare drive, my brother Tom, just in case. Her nostrils flared. You're sick. No, I said calmly. I'm ready. Her eyes flashed, rage mixed with fear. She didn't think I'd fight back. Thought I'd cave, like always. She grabbed her phone, texted furiously, probably securing her next crash pad. I didn't stop her. I didn't care. Then came a knock. We both froze. She looked at me, uncertain. I went downstairs, opened the door. A man in a cheap suit stood, there, hair gelled, smile like poison. James, right? I'm Greg, Laura's lawyer. Just here to chat. Nothing formal. I didn't blink. You're 58 minutes early. She's not on the lease anymore. He smirked. You're really doing this, huh? Over a misunderstanding. Yeah, a misunderstanding with 5 strangers and a fake paternity. He chuckled. All right, look, she's willing to settle nicely. Wants the SUV, a small alimony, and visitation if Emily leaves with you. I stared. She gets nothing. His brows lifted. That's not how divorce works, man. I handed him a folder. Inside were bank statements, photos of Laura with Derek in Atlantic City, dated 5 years ago, not 20, and a copy of her diary, where she bragged about keeping James clueless and weak. Greg read in silence, then closed it slowly. Okay, he said, sobered. Let me talk to her. I shut the door. Upstairs, Laura must have seen his face through the window, because when I returned, she was pale. I told you, I said quietly. I'm not your husband anymore. I'm the guy cleaning your mess. She opened her mouth, closed it, opened it again. Then the mask broke. You were never enough, she spat, voice cold. Too soft, too clingy. I married you because I was pregnant and scared, not because I loved you. I smiled. Thanks for the honesty. She shoved past, duffel in hand, and stomped downstairs. At the door, she turned back. This isn't over. I nodded. No, it's just beginning. Then she was gone. I stood in the hall, silence, louder than her steps. For the first time in years, I felt something new. Not heartbreak, not betrayal, freedom. I didn't sleep that night, not from regret or longing. Those died when she said I wasn't enough. That was the shot to the heart. I didn't know I needed. I sat in Emily's room, where I used to read her bedtime stories. Her fairy lights still glowed on the walls, same as when she was 7. Yet everything was different. Every photo on her desk, every memory in this house felt stolen. I kept seeing her glare, that pure contempt, like I'd betrayed the family, like I was the villain. I tried calling her. Voicemail. No reply to my texts. By noon the next day, I got her message. 4 words. Don't contact me again. Just like that, my daughter, not by blood, but mine in every way that counted, chose her mother over. Truth, over the man who raised her, paid her tuition, sat by her hospital bed through fevers. I stared at the text. It cut deeper than anything Laura said. I went to the basement, grabbed a bottle of bourbon I hadn't touched in years, cracked it open, took 2 swigs, let it burn. Then my brother Tom called. You holding up? No, I said. She's gone. Emily too. He paused. I know you don't want to hear this, but stay sharp. Laura's not one to vanish quietly. I've got the proof. All of it. Yeah, and she's got a mind full of poison. She'll twist this however she wants. He wasn't wrong. Laura could spin a tale to make a priest doubt heaven, but I wasn't scared. I was done being the pushover, the nice guy flattened by lies. That evening, another knock. I opened the door to a woman I hadn't seen in a decade. Sarah, an old friend of Laura's who vanished from our lives after a trip to New Orleans years back. She looked nervous. Can I come in? We need to talk. We sat at the dining table. She glanced around like Laura might leap from a shadow. I heard what happened, she said. I need to tell you something. I waited. Remember that New Orleans trip Laura took with friends? I nodded. She lied. It wasn't a girls' trip. She met Derek again, plus 2 other guys. They had a thing. I didn't want in. I left after one night. My jaw tightened. And you're telling me now. Why? Because I didn't know she was still lying. I thought you knew, but when I heard she got kicked out and Emily left, I figured you needed an ally. I leaned back. Did she ever talk about me back then? Sarah hesitated, then nodded. She called you dull, said being with you was like sleepwalking. Raising a kid with a guy like James is stable, not thrilling. I closed my eyes. Let it sink, let it sting. Then I looked at her. Thanks for coming. Sarah stood. I'm sorry, James. Really. She left, and another piece of Laura's lie crumbled. The woman I gave my all to thought I was boring. Safe. A stand-in. That night, I decided I wouldn't just survive this. I'd burn her legacy down, legally, socially, emotionally. She struck the match. I'd hand her the fuel. Next morning, I wore my sharpest suit. Not for court, not a meeting, for battle. Laura thought this was about love gone wrong, heartbreak, betrayal. She didn't see it. She hadn't just killed a marriage. She'd humiliated a man who built a life for her to reign over. Now I'd reclaim every brick. First stop, my lawyer, Mike Larson, a shark in a tie. I picked him for one reason. He didn't fight fair. He fought to ruin. He glanced up from the folder I dropped on his desk. You're all in? She wants a war, I said. I'm giving her one. Mike nodded. Good. She's been busy. Filed for alimony, claiming emotional distress, unsafe, home, coercion, even, get this, psychological abuse. I laughed. Psychological abuse? From me? She's gaming the system, knows the ropes, but she didn't expect this. He opened the folder. Photos from Atlantic City, texts, her diary, bank records showing her funneling our money to Derek and others. She's done, he said, grinning. Give me 2 weeks. She'll beg for a deal with nothing but her duffel and a cheap toothbrush. Not enough, I said. Mike raised an eyebrow. Beyond divorce? I want it. All. Her reputation, her friends, her job, her mommy blogger act. If she built a name on lies, I'll rip it off like Velcro. He leaned back. That's PR, social play, maybe a PI. Do it. And it was on. By noon, I'd locked her out of every joint account, cancelled her cards for boutique sprees, told my accountant to freeze assets until the split. I didn't care if it messed me up. I wanted her to feel it every second. That evening, I drove to the community centre where she volunteered weekly, playing the devoted mom, loyal wife, town saint. I walked in, handed the manager a sealed envelope. Inside, I said, you'll find proof your volunteer siphoned donation funds, receipts of purchases with charity money, and a signed note from an ex-friend who saw it. The manager opened it, went pale. Who are you? Her husband. Soon ex. He didn't ask more. Laura's reputation tanked before dusk. She called that night. I let it ring 10 times before picking up. What did you do? She screamed. I got fired from the centre. My cards are dead. My lawyer says you're making this public. You made it public when you lied to me daily for 22 years, I said coldly. This isn't revenge. It's a fix. You're ruining my life. No, I'm showing you what mine became when I learned Emily wasn't mine. She paused, breathing fast, shaky, small. Then her voice dropped. James, we can fix this. You and me, we've survived worse. Don't throw it away. I laughed. Oh, Laura, you threw it away the second you climbed into that motel bed in Atlantic City. Or maybe before, when you wrote how you loathed waking up beside me. Silence. You think you're tough, I said. You haven't seen tough yet. I hung up. I didn't want justice. I wanted ruin, and I was just warming up. 2 days later, a call from an unknown number. James, it's Rachel. Rachel, Laura's college bestie, maid of honor, Emily's godmother. Want to talk? Off record. I met her at a local diner, took a back booth with a view of the door and street. I trusted no one from Laura's circle. Rachel arrived, sunglasses on, vibe tense. She sat opposite, ordered nothing. "I know you've got reasons to hate me," she started. "But you need to know. Most of us didn't know what Laura really was." I raised an eyebrow. "Most?" She sighed. "Some suspected. The trips, random guys. She always had excuses, covered tracks. Made you sound controlling, paranoid, distant." I scoffed. "Of course. But after your fallout went viral, her story unraveled. People compared notes. You weren't the liar she was, to everyone." I crossed my arms. "Why are you here?" "Because I'm done protecting her, and you need to know what's coming." That got me. She's flipping this, painting you as a scheming control freak who trapped her in a loveless marriage. She's crafting a pity tale, scared young woman forced to hide secrets to survive. And Emily, she's using her, dragging her into interviews, claiming you mentally tormented them both. My stomach twisted. Emily, the kid I raised, shielded, loved, used as a prop. "I've got proof she's lying," I said. "You'll need more," Rachel replied. "She's pitching to blogs, the influencer crowd, wants to spin this before it spirals." I stared at my coffee, black, bitter, how she liked it. Rachel slid an envelope over. Screenshots of our chats, voice, memos, stuff she sent years ago about the guys, the lies. One where she laughs that Emily looks more like Derek than you. I flipped through slowly. My hands shook, not from pain, from cold resolve forming. "Why now? Why help me?" Rachel paused. "Because she used me too. Made me lie. Say we were at the mall when she was hooking up in some hotel. I didn't think she'd pull Emily into this." I nodded. "Thanks." She stood. "For what it's worth, I always thought you deserved better." After she left, I called Mike. "We go public," I said. "Drop everything, photos, texts, diary. I want her exposed so bad no one buys her act again." Mike's voice sparked. "Already on it. Got a media guy. We're building a timeline. By Monday, it's out." That weekend, I stayed silent. Laura posted 2 TikToks, one sobbing in her car, ranting about betrayal, framing herself as a victim of male pride and toxicity. Comments poured in. "She's so brave. Men suck. She deserves healing." I didn't bite. I waited. Monday hit, and with it, chaos. We dropped the bomb, an exposé titled, "The Wife Who Lied for 20 Years, A Father's Truth." Full breakdown, screenshots, audio, documents, a lawyer's note confirming fake paternity and financial scams. By noon, her comments were a war zone. By night, she was trending, for the wrong reasons. Sponsors ditched her. The charity cut her off. "And Emily?" She texted, "We need to talk." It was 7:42 p.m. when the front door clicked open. No knock, no warning, just the lock turning, the slow squeak, and sneakers on the floor. I didn't move from the recliner. I knew it was Emily. She stepped in like she still owned the place, like her week of silence hadn't gutted me. Hoodie, ponytail, eyes swollen from crying. We stared too long. She spoke first. "Is it all true?" I didn't answer. I slid the folder on the coffee table toward her, the one Mike used to torch Laura's lies. She sat slowly, opened it, flipped through. Photos, DNA results, bank records, her mum's diary. Page after page, each a hammer to the myth Laura spun. 10 minutes of silence. She closed it, leaned back, stared at the ceiling. "I thought you were just angry, punishing her." "I was," I said. "But not with lies. I didn't need to invent anything." She swallowed. "She said you shoved her once, yelled at her, said I wasn't yours just to hurt her." "I never touched her, never raised my voice. I told you about the DNA because you deserve truth, no matter how ugly." She went quiet, then whispered, "I told you not to contact me." "I know. She looked at me, and for the first time I saw it. Doubt cracking into guilt. "I'm sorry," she said softly. "I didn't know who to trust. You trusted her. I raised you 22 years, and the moment someone cried louder, you flipped." She winced. "I didn't mean to choose. It was all so fast. She was falling apart. She said she had nothing. I thought she needed me." "And me?" My voice stayed low, but it cut. What was I? A broken toy? Something to toss when it didn't fit her story? "I was scared," she said. So was I. The room stilled. She looked down. "I took a paternity test too. It matched. Derek's my biological." "Dad!" My gut twisted, but I nodded. I knew, still. Hearing it made it real. "So what now?" "I don't know," she whispered. "I want to hate her, but she's still my mum. I don't know what that makes me. You're still Emily, the kid I taught to rollerblade, who needed her star projector to sleep. But I'm not your dad anymore, not on paper." Tears brimmed. "Do you still love me?" I didn't waver. "I don't know. I want to, but I don't know who you are now." She cried. I let her. No hugs, no comfort. Not yet. That trust wasn't earned. She stood after a bit. "I'll go." At the door, she turned. "She's not okay. She's breaking down. No friends, no job, no plan. She says you took everything." I met her eyes. "She took everything from me. I just took it back." She opened the door. "If she does something desperate, it's on you." I raised my brows. "No, Emily. If she does, it's on her. You both never got that. Actions have costs." The door closed. For the first time since Laura left, I felt peace. But it didn't last. An hour later, cops showed up. Red and blue lights flashed through the blinds like a grim party. I opened the door to two officers, stern, silent, not here for pleasantries. "James Carter?" the taller one asked. "Yes. We need you to come with us. There's an accusation of domestic violence and threats against your ex-wife." Just a few questions. I froze. It was a trap. Laura's last card. Filthy, desperate, meant to bury me. I didn't fight, didn't argue, didn't shout. I nodded, grabbed my jacket and went. My lawyer's card was already in my wallet, waiting for this. In the cold, sterile interrogation room, one thought looped. She'd rather destroy me than admit defeat. The officer read Laura's statement. She claimed I'd shown up at her motel 2 nights ago, slammed her against a door, screamed she ruined my life, threatened to end her if she didn't vanish. Pure fiction. I hadn't seen her since she left with that duffel. She knew it. But she also knew perception often trumps truth, at first. "Alibi for that night?" the officer asked. I smiled thinly. "Yeah, home alone, watching emails roll in as my expose burned her reputation. Check my lawyer's timestamps. I was online, not attacking anyone." He scribbled. "Your daughter said you seemed unstable when she visited yesterday." I narrowed my eyes. That unstable guy gave her the folder of proof she used to face her lying mom. I didn't yell, didn't touch her, ask her. The officer stared, then nodded. An hour later, they let me go. No charges, just a pending inquiry. I stepped into the chilly night, phone buzzing. It was Mike. "She filed it, huh?" "Yeah, she's sinking." When people sink, they grab anything, even if it drags others down. "I want a restraining order," I said. "No contact. Period. If she glances my way, I want her in contempt." Filing tomorrow. I hung up, got in my car, sat watching people pass, wondering how many lived lies like I had, smiling through decay. Home hit harder than usual. No laughter, no smell of dinner, no Emily, no marriage, just me. Alone, but not shattered. I went to the bedroom, opened the drawer where I kept Laura's old love notes, dumped them in the fireplace, struck a match, watched them burn to ash. Days passed. Laura's accusation fizzled. No bruises, no witness, no proof. The cops dropped it quietly, but her name was already toxic. Sponsors gone, accounts banned, friends vanished like mist. Emily texted again. One word. Sorry, I didn't answer. She chose. Now she'd live with it. A month later, I signed the divorce papers. No alimony, no house, no cars. Laura left with what she brought to the marriage. Nothing. In court, I looked at her one last time. Her face was gaunt. No makeup, no smugness. Just regret, twisted with hate. As we walked out, she stopped me. Think, you won? She whispered. I met her eyes. No, I said. I didn't win. I survived. And you destroyed everything you touched. She opened her mouth, but I was already gone. Conclusion. What did I learn? Love built on lies always crumbles. Blind trust can kill. And those closest to you can be the deadliest. To anyone reading this, one piece of advice. Don't ignore red flags just because you love the shade. One day, you might wake up beside someone not just lying to you, they're crafting your cage. In the wreckage of love's collapse, a stark truth emerges. Betrayal unveils who we truly are. Michael's plunge into Rachel's deceit reveals a profound lesson. Trust, once broken, exposes the fragility of even the strongest bonds. His journey through rage and heartbreak teaches us that loyalty demands vigilance, not blind faith. The sting of Rachel's lies wasn't just her failure. It was a mirror, reflecting the cracks Michael ignored in their shared life. Yet, from this ruin rises wisdom. Self-worth is the foundation of any relationship. To those caught in love's uncertain tides, heed this. Never silence your instincts. Subtle shifts, guarded glances, unspoken distances, they're signals, not noise. Choose honesty over illusion, and if betrayal strikes, don't let it define you. Michael's path shows that healing begins with owning your story, not clinging to someone else's fiction. Let his lesson guide. Build your life on truth, not promises, and guard your heart with clarity, not fear. The profound choice lies in recognizing when to hold on and when to let go. Because true strength isn't in enduring pain, but in rising from it, whole and unbowed.